And yeah, the obsession has grown a little bit since the last time I showed anyone what's going on with my beads. So this is Neketaka 16. It's named after the capital city in the last video game I obsessed over. And it is a thriving metropolis in a mountain crater in the post apocalyptic wasteland. So, the central challenge my civilization faces is that the only water in the map comes from these little water sources down here, which flow with clean water about 7 or 8 days. Um, and then you get like 15, 20 days of drought, um, where the water doesn't flow at all. Or even worse than a drought, you get a bad tide where poison flows out of the water sources and this whole well gets poisoned. So you can see, like, it's red. Like, literally, if a beaver steps in this, they will be incapacitated for the rest of their lives. Like, you can't even touch it. So the the worse the concentration is, like right now it's at 48% bad water contamination. The worse the concentration is, the slower the pump houses work. So when you get like a 30-day bad tide and by day 20 the concentration is hit 98%, you're barely bringing in any water at all. So right now, I'm on Neketaka 16 because Neketaka 15 died in the bad tide that is coming in zero point 0.6 days and that lasts for 30 days. And we survived, but we had a massive food and water shortage that we just couldn't pull out of. It was a total system collapse. My beavers were too sick and hungry and tired to work the pumps even after the concentration started dropping. And yeah, we all died. There was nobody left to farm the food. It was a disaster. Hundreds of beavers were lost. So I had to reload. And every time I reload, I increment the version number. So Neketaka 15 had a very long run. We are now on Neketaka 16. And I'm just going to give you a quick tour of it. So up here is actually where we originally settled. And the very first thing I did was rush down here and build. Let's see, let's zoom in. You can't even see it anymore because it's underneath everything. But this right here is a barrier which prevents the poisoned water from Bareth's well here from spilling over into the Reaper's basket, um, which is where most of the food and wood is. And in here, we have a sustainable environment. Well-being is extremely high. Like right now, it's a little bit low because we're under pressure because we're trying to refill our water reserves before the bad tide hits. Um, but we have some irrigation channels to extend our growing up here. We have a natural wetland where the extra from this top irrigation channel comes out. We have aquatic farmhouses growing spatterdock in the canals and in the basin itself. We have a robust lumber forest. We have a little bit of pine forest that we get resin from. And we have some chestnut trees, a little food forest that we harvest food from. So this up here is the industrial center. All of the tech is built using planks from here, gears from the gear warehouses. It's all wind powered, obviously. One of the problems with this map is there isn't a lot of flowing water, so we had to build a ton of fucking windmills. Which is actually why it was so important to start up here instead of starting down here. Down here has no flowing water. So originally I had to build a water wheel here and use it to manufacture enough planks that I could get the first round of windmills up here to make more planks. And then we were able to move the whole civilization in here. But I needed a source of power to get this industrial hub online. Down here is Battery Park, named for the 3 gravity batteries. I figure I eat my lunch in Battery Park every day, so I want the engineers working in my civilization to be able to eat their lunch at Battery Park. So we have some grilled potatoes and some grilled spatterdock and a little water tank, and there's a hammock for them to hang out at. And over here we have some stuff from the neighboring district, but we'll get to that in a minute. There's some scientists, some inventors working back here. And this was the industrial heartland. This is still the industrial heartland, and it was the scientific heartland. While I was building up the basket and getting the food supply going and reaching a place where we're sustainable in here. And then once we had all of that built, I expanded up here to Magrin's Cauldron. These areas are all, again, they're named after gods from Pillars of Eternity because I am a nerd. But Magrin is basically Athena. She's like the goddess of strategy and wisdom and intelligence and tactics, but also technology and explosives and guns and things like that. So this is the cultural hub. It's a very densely settled district, oriented around these 2 observatories, which is where all of my civilization's science comes from. And we have more science than we could ever spend. So we know fucking everything. But in front of this one, I built a little park. You can see there's a beaver statue. There's a little mall. There's a couple of hammocks for people to hang out at. These are apartment buildings for the beavers who work here. This is a little trading post for the district next door. And up here, I'm very proud of this. So beavers, they're aquatic animals. They need wet fur. It is literally a basic need if you want to... Hold on. No, not that one. If you want your beavers to be happy, you need to give them access to water. So I built a fucking bathhouse up here. It is on stilts, and it has an infinity pool that drains into the basin down here. And it has showers and a little water park for the beavers who live in Magrin's Cauldron. So this is also where my printing presses are. It's where the books come from. We have a little water pump, a couple of bad water pumps. Down here is the explosives factory. It's on the other side of the river, so if it all blows up, the town is fine. That's not something that can actually happen in the game, but I had to think about it. You can't just build a fucking explosives factory in the middle of a residential sector. It has to be across the river. Let's see. Then there's our water reserves here. I built a very symbolic monument in front of our water reserves. We have a dance hall suspended over this Badwater lake here. And then lately I've been trying to expand up north. So this is Abaddon's Heart. It is also an industrial sector. It has bad water processing. It has this wall here to prevent spillover from the well from damaging all of this. And that forces the water from the well down this way instead. A couple more pumps. Dance hall. This dance hall is actually built on top of 2 gigantic warehouses. The basic purpose of this district... Okay, this movie's getting too long, but basically this is the melting pot. It has a very diverse culture. It has a lot of haulers moving things through. It has a lot of warehouses for good transport. And all of that is to support what's happening down here, where we've been slowly blasting terraces. Hold on, we just need to obtain some water here. And this is for logs, and let's empty this. Okay. So this cauldron was completely full, and I blasted these. Let's see, we need to blow this channel here. Yeah, now the water can get all the way out. Yep, so now it's flowing out. This is the front door to our civilization. This is the way that you get in. We have a staircase where we were showing off. I blasted everything down around it and just left this straight shot staircase right up onto the mountaintop. I'm going to destroy this access staircase along the way. Then in here we have a couple of channels which I'm going to fill with water, which are going to turn this whole basin green. Once we have this filled with water, and this one that where the dynamite is here. I'll blow up a little bit so you can see what it's going to look like. Yeah, so we're going to have another little trench of water here and a trench of water here. And I already tested it. Those two trenches by themselves are enough to turn this entire basin into growable terrain. So down here we have an underground ruin. Hold on. Left behind by humanity when we all died. I'm going to build a mine on top of that to get metal out of. And ship that metal right up this slope here and send it back along this way to get smelted in my industrial. Oh no, this is the smelter. To get smelted in my industrial heartland and then stored in one of these underground bunkers over here. And oh, this is ready to come down. Let's go. Yeah. Okay, so this is my pile for scrap metal. We are going to supply scrap metal, and then this is going to obtain scrap metal, and these haulers spend all day, every day, hauling scrap metal up and down the mountain. You know, it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. And yeah, then I'm going to grow a ton of wheat here, and I'm going to plant a maple forest over here. I'm going to put bakeries and grist mills up here. And this is just going to be literally the breadbasket for my entire civilization. And then Abaddon's Heart handles the trade between the two districts, meaning that we have this little snack bar here, which is the only place in the world where every single food is going to be available just in a row, because we're going to be growing all of it somewhere. Oh, and this is for books. They're shipped in from Magrin's Cauldron. Most of them don't make it all the way here, but they're fun. I've been having so much fun with this. I spent like a couple of hours while we were doing the initial work to blow this basin, pretending that I was this guy, and just like watching him go about his day as he's like doing shit. I don't know. I'm really enjoying my beavers is the point. Hold on. We need to make this higher priority. Oh, it already is high priority. Okay, nothing we can do about that then. All right. And this over here is going to be a water source for this basin here. Okay. That's everything. One more thing while I have it cracked open. When I was working on this district over here, I was thinking of you so much, because you would be so fucking happy here. Like, it's got a bathhouse, it's got a food forest, it's got book mills, it's got an industrial zone, it has a restaurant overlooking a poison lake at the end of the world. It's got I mean, it's the only place where you can get books easily, because most of them get consumed here before they get shipped on. It has our drug supply. Extract is used for a lot of things, but one of the things that it's used for is so that beavers can get high in the agora or at the dance hall. So, you know, we manufacture our drugs here as well. You know, we've got the observatories, we've got like the museum place. I'm just like putting this thing together. Like, look at this. Okay, look at this. You have this Badwater fall off the end of the world, going back into post-apocalyptic Earth. I built us a couple of campfires for kids to, like, when they're growing up, they can go have shenanigans at the campfires. There's a contemplation spot. There's a couple of hammocks. You climb up a little bit. There's a little bit for food. You can customize your tail. It's a little shopping mall in a residential sector, and then as you get higher, it just turns into this like cultural hub. I am having so much fun with these beavers, and yeah, because I'm just playing at normal speed. Like, I can let them go a day without interacting with them and come back and just see what they've accomplished in that time and issue a few more commands and then leave. Of course, I usually don't, because it's fun to watch them do their thing, but It's so much fun. It feels like a terrarium or an ant farm or something. It's like I'm just slowly cultivating this civilization. Um, and I feel like it's definitely improved my intuition for system failure in particular, having gone through 15 failures of this particular complicated system. I've learned a lot for like, oh, no, this is a cascading failure. We are not going to pull out of this one. Um, and it's helped me like start ordering my own thoughts because like literally the only way that I can interact with this at all is by assigning tasks and setting priorities. And all I'm doing is assigning tasks and setting priorities, but it is becoming this. And let's put a little staircase in there. And extend the road out here, but this is not high priority. Well, this is not very high. This is only regular high. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. Assuming you did watch the entire 15-minute beaver video, which I sent you, which if you did not watch, I will not be offended. Love you, and talk to you next Saturday.